we're doing is like we're having a chat because obviously I'm doing my Swamp Night in Heaven.
Yeah.
And you guys, you and Grooverider used to do Rage upstairs.
Absolutely.
One of the reasons that I wanted to do Heaven in the first place was because of you guys doing what you did here.
Yeah, well, when Katie told me about it a few months back, I jumped at the chance, man, because I think Heavens is a very special club. One, because it's not used that much, and all they're very picky about what nights they have here. But you know, going back to come in here back in the day, we used to do this on a Thursday night.
Yeah.
And which is a weird night to do a big club. I mean, it's huge, and it came at a time where rave had just kind of finished. They had the government, basically, Thatcher was trying to shut down the whole rave scene, and it went back into clubs, and a lot of people thought it wouldn't work. And then Rage came along, and Rage initially was meant to be kind of like a bougie house, New York house night. For some reason, for God's forsaken reason, they wanted me and Grooverider to play upstairs. And downstairs was kind of like a guy called Trevor Fung, Colin Favor, and they was playing like kind of real housey stuff. Yeah. And we was upstairs, and the first night we did it, he came up to us and went, you know, what are you going to play? And we was like, well, I don't know, like, we were young, so we didn't give a shit about anything, you know what I mean? We was like, we're just going to play what we played. There's not really any name for what we played. So anyway, he was like, well, do you know this is a big risk, which was a little bit patronising, and we didn't really want to hear that. And so anyway, the first night went well, and then, I'm not joking, man, by about the fourth week, there was queues, like people were just dying to come upstairs. And luckily for us, like Colin Favor and Trevor Fung went to LA to do a gig, and he said, you know, can you guys come downstairs and do it? And we jumped at the chance. We never knew we was going to have a legacy, man. We didn't know 20 years' time people would be coming up going, you know what, we've done this because you've inspired us. And that, when you get to a certain age, is a really, it's very rewarding. Do you know what I mean?
Do you know what's nuts, right? So, this is a weird link, right? But when I was, 15, 16, I got chucked out of school, right? And I didn't know what I was going to do. And so I got all my records out, and I went through, because you know on the records they used to put a phone number on them.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
And I went through all of these records, and I rang all of the phone numbers, trying to get work experience at a drum and bass label. And I rang all of them, half of them didn't pick up, some of them picked up. I remember, I think, Moving Shadows, a girl at Moving Shadows, she just cussed me out. She was like, I think her name was Caroline. It might have been Caroline.
Yeah, I think I know it
She
was.
was like, why would we give you a job? You know what I mean? Blah, blah, blah. And I was like, all right, cool. But then I ran Prototype, right? And it was just Groove's phone number. I didn't know that at the time.
Yeah.
And I must have woken him up. It was just like that. And I'm like, all right. And I'm like, I realised I'm speaking to Grooverider because I listen to the radio and I know his voice.
Yeah.
Like, all right, deep breath. I'm like, hi, my name's Peter. Like, I've been chucked out of school. I'm like, blah, 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 trying to do this, that, and the other. And out of everyone, he was like, you know what? I've got nothing for you, but ring me back in a month, right? And I rang him back in a month, and the same way, he was like, all right, Peter. And he chatted to me. He knew I was young, and he chatted to me.
For real, man?
Yeah, he chatted to me, he goes, so what tunes you feeling, blah, blah, blah. And he's like, again, I've got nothing for you, ring me back in a month. And I used to ring him back once a month.
That's crazy.
Maybe about a year. And it was just like, bang.
That's love, man. That is mad, isn't it? So it's amazing we've never met until now.
Yeah, do you know what? It's because you lot are like you're like my heroes. I don't hide from you lot. I don't know what, you know, it's like, because look, it was like growing up, we weren't into, it wasn't into bands or pop stars.
Yeah.
Like, it was you guys. And I see you at raves all the time, but I'm just like, I'm still like.
That's mad.
I'm still young.
Yeah, but you know what? I know what you feel, because I get like that with my heroes, and I still never sit down and think, oh, well, you know, I still fall apart when I see people.
Well, yeah, it's that, innit? It's that. Exactly. Last year, right, I was in the bus going to Croatia, right? We landed in Venice, and we've got a 4-hour bus journey, and I'm there, And I get in the bus and I sit down and GQ's next to me.
Ah, yeah,
And I don't know him, but I know him.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So I'm like starstruck instantly, and I just don't know what to do, and I couldn't work out how to say hello. So I just put my Walkman on and just sat there for like 4 hours, just moody. And I remember I see him a day later. I was with Bodika, and I walked over and I was like, bruv. I mean, he probably thought nothing of it, but I was just like, look, I wanted to say hello. Blah, blah.
Respect.
But yeah, man. But yeah, no, seriously, I run away from Goldie. I'm like scared to literally, I did last year.
A lot of people do that. I think what was so great about the music then was it was so powerful. Yeah. And it was so, you know what, no matter what's going on now, nothing really sounds new to me. You know what I'm saying? No matter, I'm not, and that is not a diss at all, but nothing really sounds new. But then techno sounded really new, and break beats, no one had ever heard it like speeded up to 140 before, and everything just sounded new. I don't know, maybe that was me being young though. Do you know what I'm saying? Maybe it was me being young, maybe.
I know what you're saying, but it's like, things, they just have been like sort of reinterpreted over the years. There hasn't been that many new styles to come out of it. And what you did back then, which is what I think is really fundamental for like what the London thing has been, when it's been like truly London, whatever the genre's been. Or London, maybe UK.
Yeah.
And what it is that mixture of everything. So all this music I was listening to, it was actually like, there was so much coded within it. So when you take it apart, it was like, oh, wait a minute. So actually, turns out I'm actually into Chicago house.
Yeah. Right.
And I'm into like Detroit techno. And I'm into this, that, and the other. But I'm into it because subliminally, I've had like the pads from this tune.
Junior,
or like,
word.
Do you know what I mean? The drums from that, or the bass style from that, or whatever. And I mean, same way with like dancehall, and like, cause, like my first thing was dubstep. And I didn't really know anything about dub. I didn't know anything about dancehall, but I knew about jungle. And that, it all informed it. Same with like rare groove. All these mad musics that I listen to now, it all came from that sort of melody.
It's funny you said that, because that is a really important thing that you said, because I remember meeting Judo Bashmore, and I said to him, you know, the tunes you make, you used to come to Rage, innit? And he went, no. He went, I come from Funky House. I was like, how can you come from Funky House, but your tunes sound exactly the same. It's the same blueprint that what we used to play, the old school stabs, and it's what you're saying. Subliminally, he soaked that all up.
Yeah. 'Cause that's what I think defines like the UK sound. Because you know what I mean, you have different, like in Germany, so you go to Berlin, and they're just like, we like techno.
Yeah,
and it's
for
just
real.
like blam, we like techno, which is cool.
Yeah.
And in London, it's always been a lot more mixed up, which I think it's kind of like if you went to like a house party, like a London house party, just standard thing. You're not going to hear one musical.
No, you're not. You're not. Yeah, for real.
Right? And that's what it is. There's like, it's dynamic.
Yeah, they don't. You're right. That is a very UK centric thing, and I think that's what's made the UK great for building subgenres. Yeah. That's why a lot of the subgenres of dance music come from the UK. Do you know what I'm saying? And the Americans. I mean, a point in fact is house, Chicago house came from America. And I remember when Kevin Saunderson first came over, and he went into clubs and heard the way young kids were dancing to, young white kids were into his music. He couldn't believe it, because he was in a cocoon in Detroit, and they were just making music. They weren't going out and getting references from nightclubs and thinking, you know what, that track, smashing it. They were just making these tunes. And then they came to England and they couldn't believe what was going on. And America has taken a long time to grasp how to really.
Yeah.
And that's why this EDM thing is hilarious. I find it hilarious because I sit there and think, you had all this amazing music in the 90s that you ignored. There was a point with the music where I think in 99, I know what you're saying happened. Yeah. Confusion happened. I'll tell you the reason why, because garage happened.
Yeah, exactly.
Garage happened, and it came out of, I remember someone coming up to me, and I went Gas Club actually, and I remember I saw a drum and bass head in there, a jungle head in there, and he went, bruv, this shit is gonna blow up, you know. And I was like, nah, mate. I said, it's not, it ain't aggressive enough for kids. And he was like, no.
Yeah, you know what, I remember it was summer 97, right? And we were at sixth form college. And before the summer holidays, in everyone's Walkman was like a roast tape or a jungle tape.
Yeah, for real.
After the summer holidays, you came back and it was like Tough Jam,
Yeah.
like Stush tapes. I was
Yeah.
like, and I wasn't ready for it. 'Cause
Serious,
I was
man.
like, this is when I was like in Metalheads, and I was like, no one in Croydon knew about Metalheads really. So
Right.
it was just like, I had a bit of like extra knowledge, you know
Yeah.
what I mean? And they were like, no, it's garage now. I'm like, what? When did this happen? Like, I couldn't do it. It's like, I
Did you ever get into it?
not really. It was like, it was everywhere, so you couldn't
Yeah,
really avoid
it,
I
for
went to
real.
a few raves, but no, that's when I was really into like, I was doing the Metalheads thing.
That was my thing. And I remember one night we was in Swerve, we had a really quiet night, and So Solid were doing the Storia. And I'm not joking, man, they had to lock off Charing Cross because there was thousands of kids. And the police came and was like, look, we're locking you lot in. It's like, I think there's going to be a riot outside, you know, police overacting, shock.
Yeah.
And you know, they were like, we think it's all going to go off in Charing Cross Road, you know, there's thousands of kids outside. And there was like 10 of us, and we sat down and thought, what's happened?
Yeah.
There's this new music with thousands of kids outside, and we had like 60 people, and we were just like, is this it, man? Like, this could be it, because we can't stop this garage thing, you know what I'm saying? I think then what happened is what happens, it happened with drum and bass, happens with everything. The record companies come in and, you know, they dangle that carrot, and it's so difficult to resist that temptation when you're young. And, you know, I remember when Groove and everyone got signed in the 90s.
Yeah, man.
You remember, you know, Goldie got signed to London, Groove got signed to Sony. Yeah, Source Direct got signed to Sony, Pesce got signed. And I knew that was it, because the record companies was just, I remember, right, going to Fotek's wedding, and I'm not joking, I don't know, Katie might have been there, I don't know, maybe you're too young. And we parked up outside, and I'm not joking, man, Groove had just bought this Porsche Boxster, and I don't drive, so I don't get that kind of car envy thing. But we parked up, and there was like 2 Lambos there was a Ferrari, there was a Porsche, there was like Aston Martin, and everyone was balling, man. It was this everyone had money, but it's really strange that whenever that happens, the hunger goes, man. I saw that in everyone's eyes. Everyone was kind of like...
I'll tell you what, because I was like still a raver at them times.
Yeah.
And sort of living through it, I mean, I've learned a lot from the drum and bass scene, from watching it.
Wicked, man.
And I know when, for dubstep, it did its thing, and it was great, and then it blew worldwide, and everyone was getting like deals from different people and that.
That's right.
And that's when I was like, nah, I'm off.
Yeah.
And that's when I started doing this label now that we're
Wicked.
for the party here.
Yeah.
And it was like, because you're exactly right. The hunger goes.
It goes, man.
You can't reinvent something once it's happened.
Yeah, it's happened. You can't bring it back again. It's not going to happen.
Exactly
and as soon as the record companies came in and they started going, oh well, you know, we love this tune, but. You know, like, well, can you have a collaboration with blah, blah,
features
blah.
And all this.
Features, collabs, and
crossover,
these
blah,
pumped
blah, blah.
up 200 grand videos. And then I was listening to the music and I was like, nah, man, it completely went. And then everyone got dropped. And, you know, you got to remember that the effect that has on art.
But this is the thing, once you've been signed to a major and then you get dropped from a major, people's focus seems to be trying to get back on the major.
Right.
Rather than sticking
to their guns. They're like, oh, I want another deal. And it's kind of like, well, nah, bruv, you need to get back down to grassroots. But then a lot of people do that, and then the people that have stayed at the grassroots don't want them back.
Yeah.
It was me, Carl Cox, Groove, Matthew B and a couple of us. We was at Dreamscape, and Groove came on, man, and Groove, if you listen to Groove's old sets, man, it's amazing because someone's played me a set of me playing 94, it's going, oh yeah, this is Dark Side, listen to this, Fab, and I can't remember any of the tunes, bruv. I can't remember because you're so, like, when you play your music, it's just, you get so locked in that you don't really remember things, and people go, oh Fab, can you remember that tune that you played in 92? And I'm like, at Dreamscape at 4 o'clock. Nah, of course I don't fucking remember, bruv. Yeah, I won't even remember what I played 2 days later. You can't ask me because I get so zoned out. I don't even know what I'm doing.
Yeah,
all I know is that afterwards, I either feel really good about what I've done, or I feel like I could have been a bit better, or I feel like I was absolutely terrible.
Yeah.
And if I feel like that, I can't sleep.
Nah, but
do you know what I'm saying? I can't sleep, I can't function, I can't do anything.
Horrible.
It's a horrible feeling, but you know what, Loefah? That's because you care.
Yeah, exactly.
I know DJs that don't give a shit, bruv. Yeah. They go on, they play the music, and I was like, nah, it didn't go that well. And I'm like, aren't you bothered about that though? Because that really bothers me.
Yeah, it does my nuts, seriously.
It's
really
crazy.
Yeah.
Even if I can't find one tune, and I've been looking for it, I'm like, I want to play this tune, I can't find it. My whole set is thrown, and no matter how good someone reckons that you were, to me, it was like...
I've had plenty of them where you think, in your heads, you've played a really bad set. And you come off and someone comes up to you and they're like, that was amazing, blah, blah, blah. And you're like, oh, bless you.
It was, yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, it wasn't.
Because you can't get into that one going, you can't be like, no, it wasn't.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It was shit.
Yeah.
I was rubbish.
Yeah.
You can't do that.
No.
You can't. So you got to be, but you sit down and you know to yourself, you think to yourself, because you're as good as the last gig you did. And I know it's a cliche to say
it's very true.
It's a very, very true saying. Anyway, this last thing I was going to say about Carl, we was all at Dreamscape and Groove came on and played this most amazing set and Carl came up to me and he went, Fab, that's it. He went, I'm not playing this music no more. I was like, why? He went, well, you and Groove have just got music that I just can't get. I can't get these tunes. And you know what it was like. You know, the kids responded back in the day to you going in and playing music they'd never heard before. They didn't want to hear tunes that they could buy at the record shop. They didn't want to hear that.
Exactly that, yeah.
And he was like, Fab, I can't get the plates. I'm going to go and play house. And I was like, really, Carl? This is you? He was like, no, but I can't be out there DJing and I can't get the tunes, Fab. And that was the reinforced times.
Yeah.
You got to remember, it was only me, Randall and Grooves that were getting those tunes. You know what I'm saying? Goldie was like, you know what? We've got you lot representing our shit. We don't want no other DJs having it. And it created that frisson of like, wow, you know, these guys are like gods.
Yeah, man.
Because they've got these tunes and no one else has got them. And
that was it. That was exactly it.